Okay, so I ended the last video with the beginning of my current symptoms, which has been utterly fever, fever. That has been my major symptom, my major current symptom for the last 8 months now. And if you hear banging going on in my kitchen, it would be my better half getting something for supper. So, sorry about that. My fever began, I think it began in October of 2011. I think it began right around that time. If I was having fever when we were living in the other house, I did not check it, so I did not know for sure, but I was feeling bad at that time. That's why I think it was probably going on back that far. However, I do know for certain that it has been going on since February. Oh wow. That was just the beginning. Shortly thereafter, I've always had problems with my digestive system. That's always been a problem. I I had really bad constipation during all this time, and it got really worse when the fevers began. I would go for as long as 10, 14 days and not go to the bathroom. And I could not go at all, without the use of an enema. Even if I used laxative, I could not go without using an enema. Period. Not gonna happen. I can take a laxative and feel like I can need to go, but could not go without using an enema. That was my life. That had been my life for a long time. Ultimately, since I had that bowel impaction as a child, I'd always had constipation. Whenever the fever got bad, that was when I really could not go without using an enema. Just couldn't happen, wasn't going to happen. If I didn't use an enema, I would have just gotten as impacted as I was when I was a little girl. So I had to use enemas. Then I started having other problems too. I would use the bathroom, and I would notice you know a lot of people don't like to look in their toilet. I know that that's something that most people don't say, but whenever you have digestive issues your entire life, you kind of become immune to talking about poop. It's an embarrassing subject. This is something no one wants to talk about. This is something no one wants to admit they have problems with. You can't talk to your girlfriends about this. You can't talk to your spouse about this. I just so happened that, Brian and I have such a close relationship because we were friends for so long before we became engaged that I can tell him everything. So I was really, really lucky to have him in my life to be able to say, hey, honey, I don't think something's, exactly right with my poop. And so there were lots of ER visits because I would have a bowel movement, and I would shake from head to toe like I was having convulsions. Not from pain, but from the actual movement. If it would move through my intestines, I could actually feel large rock-like things just moving through my body, and it would almost put me into shock feeling this move through my body. It was painful, but it was so odd. I had never had anything affect my body in this way, and I don't really think it was completely from the pain. It was very, very strange. And then not very long after we started noticing those symptoms, the shaking, I would always have fever off and on during the day, but whenever I would have a bowel movement, my fever would it would spike. I might be running 99.3, and then I start to feel the movement through my intestines, and as soon as I start feeling the movement, my fever automatically spikes to 102, very, very quickly. Within a 2-minute span of time, literally, I could go from 99.3 to 100.2, or 102. Very fast onset. And after going to the same hospital about 8 times with these exact same symptoms, they finally admitted me. And I was kept for a week. And I was tested. And tested, and tested, and tested, and tested. And everything came back to normal. No reason why I should be running fever. No reason why I should be having the digestive problems I am. They checked me for lupus. They checked me for rheumatoid arthritis. They checked me for HIV. They checked me for ulcerative colitis. They checked me for all different kinds of things. I had blood drawn just about every day for 7 days. I was on an IV drip for 7 days the entire time I was there, from the ER until I was discharged. They couldn't find anything. Nothing. They could not find anything. And so I was discharged with a diagnosis of anxiety and fever of unknown etiology, idiopathic fever. And the doctor actually told me that he thought, after testing and testing and testing and testing, he finally said, as I'm being discharged, I think you just need a mental health evaluation. I think that your anxiety is causing your fever. And I do not like confrontation, but at the time I'm sitting here thinking, I have a fever in the middle of the night while I'm asleep, and you think that my anxiety is causing it? When I'm sleeping, I don't have anxiety when I'm asleep. So, more on that next video.